Hi guys. Today it's a bit like sort of going to be a bit all over the place. The video I think maybe so not sure yet. So the camera might be moving around a bit. Um, we'll see how it goes though. Going to talk about perthro, this little ruin here, which in the old like Norse dialogue is actually a cauldron rather than a dye cup came like kind of a little bit later on. So like in the older one, it's like the cauldron, and kind of going to talk about it in the aspect of alchemy. So it would be like this, I suppose, like to get that cauldron shape. But you also here like have the alchemy table, if you think about it in a way. Sometimes it has cannons on the top here, like for the fire ruin, to show like there's alchemy coming up. Sometimes people put that on a bind ruin, like to show that the cauldron's got fire. I like to associate this ruin with myself. This the like everyone else seems to have like a significant ruin to themselves that they can relate with, and this one relates with me and not because it does also like have the dye sort of aspect to it, that it has an unknown ingredient. So like the dye, once it's in the cup, like if you looked at it like a lot cup, a dye cup, you don't know what number the dye says. So if you looked at it for the older one, like the cauldron, you don't know what the ingredients is in there, unless you actually put them in yourself, obviously. But there was always like the unknown, because it was always like considered to be like a non thing to do with the fates. So you could like I'm not sure like which one I prefer, like when I think about the tarot cards, and I kind of like both. I like the table and the cauldron. So just give me 1 second. Sorry about that, guys. Just had to get the right card out. So without get too much reflection, the magician in my pack of tarot cards, which are to do with paganism. That's why they're not esoteric, like in Murder Words. So here it's the witch instead of the magician. And you can see here she has a cauldron and a table, which I think is more meaningful. So you like messing with alchemy. It's like through the cauldron, you are messing in a sense through constructs of your mind of what's on the table. So what's on the table you could see and measure and things like that, like within your mind, So it's like got like two aspects, like mind and emotion in a sense, because like one consider like the cauldron, like the stomach area, like what's in the belly and the alchemy of emotions and things like that. The table being the mind, like what you could see upon the table. So this is why I like both. And she's also in a circle, I would assume salt. Yes, it is. I thought it was. It's hard to see with it being small on the screen. So it's a circle of salt. So another like form of protection. She's got the crow above her, which I'm drawn to. Obviously, like the crow, the raven. As you can see on my t-shirt, raven on my t-shirt. Things of nature. Alchemies of nature, like I was watching an old video by Dutch Pagan. It's really good. If you've never seen Dutch Pagan, go over there and subscribe, guys. It's pretty good. But he was like talking about mugwort instead of using like sage. I thought like, oh, that's really interesting what he says about it. About like sages like from a foreign land, like to us up here in the north, where mugwort's more common because it like lives on borders and things like that. Why wouldn't you use that? Like something along them lines. I don't want to say absolutely everything he said because don't take away from his video, but like the whole concept was like basically kind of on that, like using the herbs and the natures of your own land to protect yourself from the spirits of the land, because you then like your own spirits like that would be around you. Say like here for where I live, there's like whispers of hobgoblins, but nobody talks about them, so it's whispers. It's like in the air. Nobody even whispers it these days, but back in the olden days they did. And yes, and could be sort of because of the Edwardian, going it slightly into the Victorian age, they wanted their own little fairy tale beliefs here. It could have just emanated from that, but that doesn't really matter if that be the case or not. The thing is, it's like the elementals that would be here. So whether it's hobgoblins or not, they're going to associate with all the plants and the natures around here. So if you use like mugwort to, like say, smudge your rooms with, then the spirits and the elementals around our homeland would have recognition and, sort of channel in, if you want to use that word. I don't like using that word, but I don't really say drive away either, because I like look at it like personally, my own opinion. I look at it through like my own lens of like, if something's negative in my home, I brought it in myself. Unless I've like sort of moved into house and it instantly feels like off type of thing, which I never have. It's always been a case of after a while of living in a house, you tend to leave your own ghost about type of thing. I'm not saying this is the case, but I'm just saying from my own opinion, like of like my own experiences of I don't really, the ghosts I've seen, I've never wanted to drive away, if you know what I mean. It's always been my own energy, so that's where I'm trying to like come at it from, kind of thing. It's hard to explain, but it's like when you feel like you're stuck in a rut, you've seen the same old stuff, like your own reflection in yourself type of thing, but you want to like you be able to work with your reflection, and maybe she just like kind of stuck, or it's you're mulling on it too, like the same aspects too much. And these would be the times where I would use sage, but I've obviously changed this now, and it never really did anything. It made the house feel a little bit sort of airier in a sense, like that feng shui stuff, like as if things were flowing through the house a little bit better. So I smoke it in any way. So I use like mullein just to take the harshness out of it. It's just herbs. I don't use anything else but the herbs. So I mix it with like just mullein to take the harshness out of it. A bit of marshmallow, the plant, not the sweet thing, just the plant leaf. And mugwort with it. And just roll it up into, this is like a sort of one I've burnt halfway through into just a rolly. You can use a pipe as well, but I just find it easier to do like that. It just give me a bit of waste as well. So I smoke it right down because it's quite hot. And I found that quite peaceful, to be honest. It doesn't hit you, it doesn't give you a high, so you don't get anything like that. It can make you feel a little bit sluggish because you're breathing in carbon monoxide in a sense. But I feel like especially like speaking for someone who has like sort of a problem with like anxiety, paranoias and things like that, it can actually calm all that down, that noise. So it was exactly what I was looking for, really, was a way to calm that noise. Because that like bounces off the walls, even if I'm not talking. Just the reflection of like the mindset can bounce off the walls, bounce off objects, and interfere like things I put like into objects. Like so, like I'm bouncing with all this like sort of agitation. So for me, like mugwort was a really good answer. I mean, I just bought mine, but I'd recommend if you can to go and get it yourself. Like go and like pick your own, because then you're like making a ritual out of it. And it's just like I'm not seeing any round here at the moment. I was hoping to see some. So I bought it in winter because I knew it wasn't really around back then anyway, and I just wanted to try it. I thought by the time it comes to June, when it's like ready at its height, I'll see it and I'll just pick it myself and I'll just do it that way. But I'm not seeing it, so I'm kind of disappointed that I might have to just stick to buying it. But I'll keep looking around for now, and anyway, I haven't been everywhere yet. So there's a couple of other places I haven't looked. They got to look like along like the borderline of places, so on a tree edge where woodland is, or edges on the edge of a field, like where there's borders, is usually where it goes. Sometimes in wasteland as well, where things are a bit derelict, so things can't quite grow properly. Then you get like the weeds type of thing. Places like that, it'll go like wildfire. And you just dry it out, and just you could use it as a smudge stick, so you don't have to smoke it. You could just put it into like something like this. This is just like a sage, but you could like put loose mugwort in there and just burn it and let it smoke. So as long as it's like fireproof. Don't even think a shell's proper ideal. It's like a shell, but it's actually got holes in it, which I'm not happy with. But I don't really. I had that smudge stick. I bought that before I got the mugwort back in Christmas. I've only used that because I found the mugwort's just better. I only burned that once, like it was just before Christmas, and I burnt it, kind of thing. But definitely would recommend like mugwort if you've never used it. Like I say, you don't have to smoke it. You could just burn it on something that's fireproof. If there's a way you could like bind it like that type of thing, I suppose would be even better. Like I wouldn't know how you would go about that, but maybe you guys know like a way of using resin and things that would be able to bind it. So this is like again, like it doesn't have it on this particular card, the mugwort, but it's like that protection that you could put like. So it's not just like protecting me by calming me down, calming my inner dialect down type of thing, so I can kind of think straight for a little bit. But also like sort of like take you into a place where you're on the boundary as well, like so you're protected in a sense. Like the elementals are like connecting with you that are connected with the mugwort, protect you, and now you're like in the boundaries of two worlds. And the only way I can sort of express it, even though it's more than this really, it's just that this is the like sort of theme that gets put into it, is it'll enhance your dreams. People believe it'll make you have lucid dreams. I'm not had a lucid dream with it yet, or astral projection. Some people believe it'll help with that, and I'm not had any experiences like that yet, even with it. But I have had some strange dreams with it, and I don't mind nightmares. I don't mind, you know. To me, it's so weird because like I can have like such an awful dream that someone would never want to dream, and I find it so intriguing and interesting to analyze that. Once I wake up, come out of it. Obviously, it's terrifying and everything in the dream, but once I woke up from it, I'm like, oh wow, and I just can't wait to analyze every like little bit of aspect of it. Like, what was it about? Because like every dream's to some side of your subconscious trying to tell you something about yourself in a sense. So I was looking at it like that, like that intriguing, and I just like the fact that you could even go to these places in your mind in a sense. The other night, I had just a short, quick dream where all these like different ghosts with different ranks, kind of thing. It was like so, like kind of started off as a ghost that just sort of went through me, and I don't even know if I knew I was even dreaming at that moment because it wasn't really affecting me. Well, I was obviously dreaming, but it was like one of those like where you wake up and then like backlog it. Like I'm not sure where I came in at. I think I was sort of there, but not really. And then there was some kind of like ghast thing that came next, like a higher rank type of ghost. But it did the same thing. It had no effect. It just kind of went through me and that. But at the same time, like I felt like I was going through different levels of death. So like your first level would be a ghost, your next level would be a ghast, and then the next one came and it was a wrath, and it looked like an old woman with like old grey hair, and she bit my arm up here. And I just went ethereal as if it was like another level above this ghast thing, like way past death type of thing. I don't know why I said it. It just went ethereal, and it couldn't bite me. Like it's just like it was there, but I wasn't bothered by it. I kind of woke up after that. I kind of fascinated just by another one where I think it was just a couple of nights before that where I was walking through a war field in a sense, but like it was like as if everybody was getting ready for war, or war was already over, or it was just like a presentation of all these different like war figures, and they all look like they were all like dressed in like old desert with a sort of like flat caps that come up. Kind of reminded me from that man from the original Jumanji movie, but didn't wear that desert suit. So had the old flat caps on, that sort of Civil War type of British troop era sort of thing. They had this weird name like Scaloff or something, like Peter Scaloff, Thomas Scaloff, even though they all like had different colours and that, always had the same last name, like Scaloff. Like, what the heck? I have no idea what even that means. And then all of a sudden, even though those people were still around, I started spotting like odd ones out, but interpreted in a dream that these were still like war people who were participating in the like on board with it type of thing. So I started seeing like witches and stuff, like with cauldrons, started like stirring the cauldrons around like that, and I was just like looking at it, like, is that a Scaloff as well? Just like under a different like sort of uniform, but like I didn't cook that name never popped up, like because someone else was like saying it to me, like, oh, that's so and so Scaloff. But when I saw the witch, they never said what the name of that was. And I thought, oh, that's weird. Why would there be a witch here? And I said, like, seeing another one that was like a bit similar, like another witch, like just doing like going like this, but nothing was happening. She was just like doing some strange things with her hand, but she like had the like pointy hat on, the black cloak on, um, and then I seemed to be like sat down. It was a sunny day and everything, like clear day, like everything was outside. So like sat down, like as if I was on a beach deck chair type of thing, like laid right back looking up the sky. It was a blue sky. And this old fat woman just came out of nowhere, and she had this little like curly. Oh, I don't know if I've got one on me. If you just give me a second, I don't have the same thing, but like just so you get the gist. Um, so you can see there that's just like a little moon quartz thing. It would look like this, but like more like a tooth type of shape. It was crystal, and she pointed it right there on me, like trying to press it in. Even though I couldn't feel anything because I was dreaming, but I'd seen what she was doing, and she went, "I curse you." Like, well, she didn't say that first. She just said like, "I used so and so, and it wasn't my name." I said, "No, no, no, I'm not that person. You got me mistaken for someone else." And then she went, "Oh, I curse you." And they're like, "Get off, I'm not that person." And she like pushed herself back on and did the other side. I thought, "You cheeky cow." Like, so I grabbed whatever that was, like off her, like something like similar shape to that the curve. I just went, "No, you could take your curse back and like just put it onto her mind's eye." Actually, like put it onto her mind's eye and said, "You could take your curse back." Then the other guy who like was telling me about all of these names of people just burst out laughing. Said, "I can't believe you just did that." I said, "Well, bloody cheeky cow." So she doesn't even know me from anybody. And he like cursed me like that. So I just said, "Bound to give her it back." And she just like wandered off, like she was just like gone off into another world of her own type of thing, like completely distorted, didn't know what just happened type of thing. I mean, I don't know if it's a mugwort that's causing that, but yeah, I kind of get like sort of. I was like being able to dream pretty good in any way, in the sense of certainly like occasionally where I'm not really sure what I dreamt about, but I knew I had a dream. So like it's not very often I don't remember what I dreamt about type of thing. I normally remember them all the time type of thing. But I remember the very first time I smoked it. It was kind of like this image that's gone up behind me at the moment. In a way, kind of. It was different colours, but just like a dark, and then all of a sudden be it's like a red sort of flash in the sky in the background, and it just kept like striking down like this red flash, and then the ground started burning red until it was like on fire, and then I just like got this sort of like eerie feeling that the next one was going to come up close. So I like looked up and I could see the sky turning red, but I woke up before it flashed type of thing. And that was the first night I smoked it, so it's never put me off, like get all these like eerie dreams like that, and I'm not even bothered by them. I just find them so fascinating. So if you're a person who doesn't like to remember your dreams, don't do it. You got to be like me, if you have that fascination with your dreams, you like being in them, even when they can be haunting. Then I'd definitely recommend it. But just in case, if you have if you're like subject to nightmares and things like that, and you don't want to go there type of thing, then don't do it, because it will enhance them. And like I say, it's not made me lucid to the point of like I'm actually know where I'm aware that I'm dreaming and I could change it type of thing. I've never had that since I was a kid, really. It would be nice to go there and try a couple of things out, but It's just one of those things. I'm not having that, and I don't know why people take it for astral traveling. That's got me like curiosity because I'm not really sure how you're supposed to do that. But for one thing's for sure, I'm not leaving my body and things like that. I don't smoke much though, anyway. But I don't even know you can smoke much. It's like so heavy on your lungs that I'll just have one every now and again. It's not like even every day. I'll just have one and then miss it for a couple of days and then have another one a couple of days later. So I don't really smoke it as such, really. It's just I'm doing it to calm me down more than my dreams, really. Because, like I say, I'm pretty good with dreaming and anyway, so this is like my own like sort of alchemy, working with my own inner dialect of, in a sense, so like I told you a couple of dreams there, where I actually do feel sort of, I've been through moments in anywhere where I feel cursed, feel like sort of as if I'm sort of got no power in such a place, like walking through like a field of like generals and officers and army people who would all like be ranked and all that, and I've got no rank at all, type of thing. But that doesn't mean that you have no power. That's why like don't even consider anything like that. Like, it doesn't matter to me. I'm quite happy to walk through such a place if everything just leaves me alone. But as soon as something attacks me, then I'll attack back. Karma, isn't it? You're allowed to, well, like through like paganism, like well, not even just paganism, really. It's like sort of natural law, I suppose. Someone attacks you, you're allowed to attack back. She never hurt me, I never hurt her back. I just cursed her, sent her own curse back. That's all I did. So it was her own effect that she got back. So I didn't even do anything, really. All I did was just reflect her own, like, in consideration back at her. Like, you're not even like, listening to what I'm saying, for one. That I'm not this person that you think I am. So she's not listening. So like that was the next effect, was like, well, you're getting that back. I'm not sure what I would do if she'd said my name. It's like, oh, are you this person? Oh, yeah. And then done it. It might have like looked at that completely different. Because it's sometimes like I do get that like tendency, like I feel like I deserve bad luck and sometimes, in a sense. It's through Christianity, being brought up with Christianity, believing that you're born under sin and all that. How dare you even exist? You're a sinful person. You're sinful just for existing. That's how that a lot of community like looks at you. That's why I turned to paganism. Really, I was sick of it in a way. Like my parents, well, not my mum, but my dad was Pentecostal. So that's like all that Elvis, like, oh Lord, yeah, like all that type of stuff. I believe, with your mouth up like that. You have to talk like all your life. I'm Elvis and I believe in God. That's why I just can't listen to Elvis Presley. I know a lot of people like him, but I can't do it. It's just such a bad like negativity. I just can't do it. But I've also been like in a Christian church as well, which wasn't really that bad, really, I suppose. Just your general like sermons and stuff like that. No, I didn't feel like I was under any pressure and all that, but I never liked the drinking stuff. I always felt weird after doing that because of the people like drink from the same cup as well. I almost felt a bit extra weird, I suppose. And I did get like sort of, I don't know what you call it. It's supposed to be like a baptism sort of thing where you get like the water, and so you get like christened like that. But then you like when you're older, you get it done again. and I wanted to use one of the names for the Bible, like do it properly and all that. And then everyone started calling me John, even though John isn't my name. I only picked that because it was like in the Bible. You're supposed to pick one of the names in the Bible. I felt awful all day. It's just to feel myself. Like, oh, what the heck's wrong with me? I couldn't put my finger on it all day. I felt like weird. I was like cursing on that day and everything as well. Like, really put me in a really strange mood that just wasn't me, you know. I never told anybody about that, like, because it was like kind of a bit embarrassment, really, considering the actor like had to just go through it all. So the last thing on my mind, I was going to say anything like that. I just had to keep it to myself. So like just through things like that, you know, make you feel weak, make you feel embarrassed, just for doing something, like, and also like kind of force you into situations where you have to curse as well, kind of thing, like bringing people around that. You know, I suppose the Christians would look at it like, oh, well, you're being tested. I never looked at it like that on that day. I almost just felt like as if I was forced and I had no other choice but to. I couldn't be myself. See, like now turned to paganism, I know I could curse if I want to, if I need to. I mean, you've heard me on the videos curse anyway, like swear cursing. I mean, I don't recommend it though, but still, like I know it's not going to send me to hell and things like that just for the sake of doing it. It just creates a bad vibration if you like every single sentence you using a curse word, unless you absolutely something's really got you sort of upset type of thing, and you just need to vent it out type of thing. But I can take that respect of like that acknowledgement of, right, it's time to vent out such a thing. Oh, I've been put in a situation like, say, that woman that cursed me. I could have like sworn at her. I didn't in the dream, but I would have been in my rightful place to do so, and I would have been content of mind to do so, type of thing. It wouldn't have bothered me. Where with Christianity, you're still, you're naughty if you do that. No, you're not. You have every single right to be like that. And you're not a heathen just because you're doing that. It doesn't make you any less powerful. You know, I'm not going to say it makes you more powerful either. Because if you, like I say, if you do it all the time, then it's not good either. But if you do it right, because of whatever's going on at that moment, and you've got the right intent of why, and the purposeful meaning behind of why that's actually going on, and I think it's absolutely fine. I'm just getting, it looks like I've got my candles on, but I don't have any candles on. But it looks like it's like a little tiny light just above these little black circles here. One there, one there. There's 3 little candles on my altar back here. So that one there, right where I'm pointing, looks like there's a little light above it. It's not just the shine off the metal of the tea light holder. Like, look at it now. I don't put my candles on. So like I said, like this video is all over the place, kind of a bit meaningless. But you know, like, you might still be able to take something away from all that, even though like it's not like as if I was really talking about this card, but just using the aspect of like perthro through this card, like the cauldron, the hidden ingredient, which is like the subconscious. Emotions can be hidden as well, like, so you can purposely hide your emotions away from others seeing it. And then the table of like the contents of what you can actually use to like overcome or adapt, or things that just give you a tool to use to deal with things, if you like. Make life easier, if you like. Without really giving you any symbolism, just going straight to the stories, you know. That's why it kind of sounds like it's all over the place. If I give you the symbolism as well to everything, the video takes too long, and it still ends up being meaningless in any way, in a sense. Barring, like, you know, like where it reflects with it, if you like actually taking it and seeing like, oh, actually I never even thought about that, or something like that, you know. I still think, like, you know, like with perthro, I think it's got a like hidden meaning, you know, that's not in the rune set that I'm aware of in any way. It could be, but just I'm not aware of it. Nature, outside rather than inside. So I think like what I'm trying to say in a sense is, like, you know, like you use all the elements and alchemy of nature. So like they're your ingredients in nature. Your trees, your plants, your animals would be the things that would go in your cauldron. You could make like broths, stews, soups, poisons, potions, whatever, you know, from all that type of stuff. But then all that's going inside the cauldron rather than, but it's from the outside of the circle, if you like. So that circle that she's protected herself with, all the plants and everything that she's had to gather to put into that pot are from outside of that circle, in a sense. There might be one or two things that she might have picked to put in from inside the circle, if depending on what the intent is, you know. And the things, I'm not sure what she's got on the table there. So she has a cup and a pentacle, a wooden pentacle, which I'm not sure if you guys can really see it. It's hard to tell because it looks blurry on my screen, so it might be blurry on your screen as well. But that little wooden thing there, where my finger is, next to my finger, there's a wooden pentacle next to a cup, like a chalice. So she's got, in a sense, you could like say, like, she's got the Ace of Cups, she's got the Ace of Pentacles, yeah, she's got the sword there as well. So the sword, and she's got the wand in her hand. So she's got all the aces as well, which is quite powerful, you know, in itself. The witch, she's got all the aces. 2 things on the table, or 3 things on the table, and 1 in her hand, which is used to stir the ingredients, in the sense of the cauldron, you know. Put the like the intention into the cauldron, if you like. But I never noticed actually, so I'm glad I looked. That makes the card even more powerful. You know, that's all the aces are being used. I know that card's got nothing to do with perthro, but because this card's paganism rather than Christian sort of mindset type of thing. So just think that difference, you know, between the right way to this pagan card. Just in case this is the first video you've watched, this is the tarot I'm actually showing you that card from, and they're all like pagan mindset cards, even like the swords, the chalices, the wands, the pentacles. They all have like pagan, something pagan and going on in the background. The only thing is, if you're a complete beginner, which I am as well, the esoteric meanings of a lot of symbolisms that the Rider Waite use are not here in this tarot card set. I do have a Rider Waite, but I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I've got like a gold foil version of it, and I think it's awful. I wish I just got a normal version of it. Because you can't see none of the colours or nothing on it. It's just like so stupid thing I went and did. Don't get one of them, guys. If a complete beginner, I'd recommend the Rider Waite. It's just so you can learn all the esoteric patterns and all that. But if you're like me, you're a pagan, I found just going straight in with this, and I never learnt the Rider Waite. Have done tarot before, but I did it through like a Greek mythology card set. This time I'm doing it through a pagan, the Green Witch Tarot, which is all pagan sort of themed in a sense. It's not perfect. It's not brilliant. There's things you won't like about it if you're used to tarot sets, unless you're a collector. See, like the moon there. That's the moon. There's no dogs on it, on the card either. So it's just like a woman looking at a pond with a fish coming out, and the moon's, you do see the moon, it's above her head on the card, but you don't see no wild dogs, so it loses that meaning of madness in a sense. But you get it back in a way through like the lucency of the fish here. So like see the fish is like that hallucination sort of, which can kind of go into madness, but it just doesn't hit the same, if you know what I mean. So that's why I like recommend like for a beginner to go to the Rider Waite, because the meaning, the esoteric meaning of the original, you know, like source, if you like. It's the same like with everything, you know, like if you want to learn the ruins and you just go to Norway, get like sort of like even though like books aren't brilliant, but like just something like that, learn the ruins. For the Ogham ruins, again the same, just go Celt, you know. You go straight to the source. Don't mess around, guys. Don't try and just like make your own stuff up of them, you know. It's tricky, like in a way, because, like I said, books, they're not perfect, but I mean, at least I can recommend this to learn like your ruins. Like you'll get like a pretty in-depth sort of insight to the meanings and the divination. Things in here I don't like I don't like the history, and that bores me, but if you do like the history, then it's their kind of thing. But there are other books that I prefer over that I wouldn't really recommend to you guys, but I've recommended them in any way. So I got like a rune oracle set that I actually prefer the readings from that book over that book. I don't know why, I just prefer them. But you know, like you go to, like, say YouTube, and you listen to someone from Scandinavia, Romania, Denmark, Norway, talk about the runes, and it's like nothing from any of these books that I've read. They're like saying stuff like, "Oh, I didn't know that was like associated with that rune either." So you like learn so much more that's just not in the books. I think that the hardest aspect, especially for like the Norse runes, for me, and it is in here, is the colours. So each rune has a colour and its meaning, and then like I don't reverse it, but the reverse is in here if like runes go in reverse. I use the same method as I use with the tarot cards. I prefer to read the positive and the negative. I have done it just to see how it would read. Like dinner reverse, if it's done reversed. Sometimes it's just so hard to tell if it's really meaning that or not. So I like to read it both ways if possible, you know. So that's again, perthro is your hidden ingredient. The ingredient is hidden truly, you go to a shaman and then they know what the color, why the colors are there, the numerology of runes, why you're using that, the letter of the runes, the sound vowel of the runes. It would just kind of change depending where you go. Obviously, like a generic shaman may sound different to someone in Scandinavia type of thing. But you have to be close-minded on any of it, just because something sounds different, or one shaman throws like a load of information on one rune and you go to another shaman that throws a completely paradoxical set of information. You have to be open-minded to both, because what I find with runes and the cards is that they are paradoxical. And anyway, so you'll get one meaning, then you'll get a back to front meaning of that without the rune being reversed. It does have a back to front meaning hidden in with it. And an upside down kind of rune, sort of hidden meaning in with it. So it goes paradoxical 3 times in a sense. So hard to explain that, really. I kind of explained it through this a few times. I use this to throw my runes upon when I'm doing runes. So you have the ward, which is the moving, but on the board they're all set. The ward's set just as much as the middle piece. I think it's the organ. I'm not sure now, but this wheel was your inner. This is the outer type of thing. So your inner, what's going on inside of you, the outer, but these aspects, even though they're fixed on the board, so I would read these, whatever, say one piece fell on here, I'd read this piece is fixed, but the piece that fall on it, I'd read as movable. So you have 3 aspects going on there, you'd have the middle, which is very rare, get a piece that lands on there, which is fixed inside of you with a movable rune that lands on it. A fixed piece on the board with a movable rune that lands on that also to the outside. So you've got the inside, the outside, and then the final object, the final sort of loop. The third loop would be the loose pieces that are landing on it, because they're separate from these two. So that's your 3 wheels. So you have one wheel here, one wheel there, and your other wheel is the 24 runes that you're actually using to cast upon the board. You don't have to count the blank rune as a non-rune. It doesn't. There's no blank rune. But I only use it to. It's a suggestibility of an unknown, unseen. You're not to know. That fate's not to be answered. Darkness, oblivion, void. So all these keywords I could actually put up on there. And I also use the blank rune from the loose pieces also. So if a blank rune lands on any one of these, then I could see also just from using that blank rune, even though I don't count it, it's not a 25th rune, there's only 24. I could still see what's not being answered. It still can answer things for you, even though it's like an unknown or unseen, you could still get like an answer to something. There's the only reason why I actually use it. I know a lot of people don't like to use it, but I don't mind. I know it's just like a new age thing sort of thing, but I find it still works for me, you know, for my own energies, because I have that concept of some things are not meant to be known. Because I said right from the beginning of the video as well, I relate with perthro through my own personality, my own characteristics of my own self. I know what I don't know. I don't know what I know. I also know that I don't know. I don't know that I know, kind of thing. And I could know that I know, and I can also don't know what I don't know. So it works. It's like three loops, but each one with an opposite. And I could just relate to that aspect of seeing that in my personality, my whole life, like that sort of characteristics where I get mind blocked or can work with someone, come up with like a spec genius type of thing, and still not really understand what I just said. And do the opposites to that as well, come up with spec genius, see the ins and outs, and then be completely clueless, dumb, blind type of thing. So, you know, I just because I can relate with that the most. That's why I get pulled to that ruin the most. Because you don't know what that ingredient is until it comes out of the cauldron, or you don't know what the number of the dye is until it comes out of the cup. It's blind fate in a sense, but the only two slight differences is that from the older sort of belief, well, not belief, but the older knowing before I got put into the lots, became like a gambling rune in a sense, is that it would have been seen that the nuns, only the nuns though, that knew what fate was to be placed upon the ingredient of perthro. So it was left to the fates to know what was in there. So it was still hidden from the person that was reading, unless other runes would give you hints and stuff, type of thing. But you could also look at it from the aspect of the magician, the witch, the alchemist, i.e. yourself, what you're putting in, what ingredients are you putting in, and the effect, what effect these ingredients have upon you. Will they clear your system out? Will they make you feel vibrant, full of energy, make you feel more unwell, but clear you out later type of thing, poison you, and all the rest of it, So in that aspect, depending on the question being asked, they would look at it like this, oh well, is it an ingredient that I'm aware of myself? Is it the knowns to be not known? Or is it even it could go even further, is it something of nature, because the other runes could tell you what the actual ingredient was if you were looking for something within alchemy, sort of, in a sense, so the other runes would give you hints to sort of what effects a plant would have upon you, in a sense, and then you could test that yourself and see if you're related with it, I suppose. Or that part of knowledge, of learning what can a plant do, what can a poison do. Sometimes poison's the cure, and sometimes the cure is poison. That double dippiness of it. It's like before they started messing around with nicotine, before they started putting all kinds of chemicals and that stuff like in the cigarettes and that. Like nicotine itself was quite actually good for you. People would use that for healing, and they were even considered like health beneficial for your health on the packets and stuff. That was before they started messing around, putting crap in it, like. So stuff like that, like something that appeared bad for you, like it might still knock you for six, make you feel unwell for a bit, but that's because it's detoxifying all the toxins out of your system, type of thing. Once that's gone, you like feel fresh as a daisy. So some things just work like that, they might seem like a poison, but then like later on they're actually really good for you. Be nice to go back in the day and ages when they had the proper stuff in foods and things like that, wouldn't it? Anyway, guys, I'm kind of going to leave the video there. I think I did all the ins and outs of like the perthro, like even though it was like an all over here and there type of video. I think you get the gist of it. It's just something to talk about in anyway. I'll try and make the next one a bit more on point and on ball. Maybe see how it goes. Anyway, guys, I'll kind of see you guys later, and get yourselves out in nature and sit out in it for a bit, not just in your garden. Get out in the countryside, guys, if you can. So catch you later. Bye.